These two letters give us I sound. That's why many pronouns would sound like jij, my, du, die. The second rule is that R plus S give us sh sound. Not rsh, but just sh sound. That's why the name of the language, Norwegian, would be norsk. Jeg snakker norsk, which means I speak Norwegian. And the last spelling rule for today is R at the end of words. It will be very soft. R. Jeg snakker bøker. Typically we would have R at the end for present tense form of verbs and plural forms, as well as names of professions and nationalities. Norwegian grammar is not that difficult. Actually, in many ways, it is even easier than English. For you as an English speaker, it would be really easy to memorize a couple of hundred Norwegian words, because they are very similar to English, especially verbs. I guess you can already guess the meaning of these verbs. They basically represent an English verb shortened to just two letters. Can you guess the name of these verbs? Ogo, oha, ota, oyi, ohjelpe. I guess it wasn't that difficult, right? You have probably noticed that O with a circle above it, that is always pronounced just O, is basically the equivalent of the English participle to. Now, to make the present tense form, we just need to add letter R at the end of the infinitive form. That's it. Snakker, leser, går, hjelper. This form of the verb would agree with any subject. Jeg snakker, vi snakker, han snakker, de snakker. It is actually very easy, even easier than in English. The only thing you have to do is just to remember these 5 exceptions. Er, gjør, spør, vet, sier. Apart from these words and modal verbs, skal, vil, kan, må, bør, all other verbs would simply get R to make a present tense form. Now you can say, jeg snakker engelsk, norsk. You can also say, jeg har mange bøker, which means I have many books. You can say, jeg bor i Norge, which means I live in Norway. Jeg leser mange bøker. I read many books. To make a question, we just need to start with the verb. There is no such thing as auxiliary verbs in the Norwegian language. So to ask general questions, we just need to start with the verb. Bor du i Frankrike? Do you live in France? Snakker du engelsk? Do you speak English? Har du en bil? Do you have a car? The question words start with the English letters H, V, but they are always pronounced with V, unless you live in northern parts of Norway where it is pronounced K. But in all other parts of Norway it will be pronounced as V. Va, hvem, hvor, hvorfor, hvordan. To ask where do you live, you just say hvor, bor, du. To ask what is your name, you would say hva heter du. Heter is a verb that translates as to be called. Unlike in English, we have a distinction between du, single form, and dere, plural form. It is important to remember that u is pronounced very soft, like in many French words. It will always be u, du. Now let's read the most important expressions in the Norwegian language. Ja, nei, takk, vær så god, vær så snill. We have sh sound because one word ends with R and another word starts with S. Beklager, unnskyld, god morgen, god natt, god kveld. Most Norwegian pronounce morgen as morn, not like in German, morgen. Morgen, god morgen. When it comes to pronunciation, there are 3 exceptions that you should definitely write down and remember. De, de, o. There are no rules that make us pronounce these words this way. You should just remember them. De, de, o. You have probably already noticed that we have subject and object forms of pronouns, just like in English. Jeg, my, vi, oss, du, deg, Dere, der. It doesn't change. Han, ham. Hun, henne. Den, de do not change. Den, de. Die, them. Den and de stand for it. We have den and de because den is used for masculine and feminine words and de is used for neutral words. De is actually one of the most important words in the Norwegian language. It is used even more often than it in English. Whenever we need to describe the atmosphere in general, or weather conditions, or feelings, we would use de. Det er vanskelig. Det er viktig. Det er varmt ute. I hope this lesson was useful for you. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe if you want to continue learning with me. I guarantee that watching my videos is the most effortless way to learn Norwegian. It is especially true if you want to start speaking the language as soon as possible.